This is just while I'm waiting for that glue to dry, update on that diorama that I'm making. Different video. So I'm up to part two and a half, I think, because there was a bit of a drama with the base. So I had to make a new base. So now it's just not concrete. That's the old base there. Well, that was the second base, and then I decided not to use that one because I needed to have a wooden floor. So I made a new one out of wood, and then just this is a paper just printed, but this is actually wood. I think this is from AliExpress. It's like very, very thin veneer wood. So I think I've got a little bit left over here. You can see it here. It's got a sticker on the back, and you can see it's just individual bits of wood. So pretty nice. I suppose you could varnish it, you could stain it, you could do whatever you want. I'm going to make up a little bit of what's the name, water with a bit of black paint, just very, very not a lot of black paint, and just get a sponge and wipe this over because it's a little bit too clean for a garage. So just dirty it up with a bit of dirty water kind of thing. It'll sink in. And then I just got these today. These are not stickers, all real wood. These are just printed on A4 sheets of paper. They're from eBay, and I got them from the same people as well, like garage signs kinds of things. I don't know, I might use some of the littler ones, but not the big ones, because in the real garage for this thing from Fast and Furious, there was none of that stuff hanging up, so I might just use a couple of the doubles that are smaller, because this is 1/24 scale, and I kind of like the 1/18 scale a bit better, but I couldn't find this car in 1/18, so yeah, I'm doing it in 1/24, but I like the 1/18. Everything's a little bit bigger, and you can get a bit more detail into it. So yeah, these are going to be the walls. So I kind of got a sheet for every wall, but it's not going to be that high though. That's way too high. Probably only up to where my thumb is there. Kind of see it like that, and then another one. So that wall's going to be solid. The back wall's going to be solid, and then this wall I'm going to leave probably only halfway, and then the bit that's left over there will be clear, and there might just be a little return there because I want to have benches and stuff running down here, and then there'll be, from wherever that wall finishes there, it'll be benches that way as well, and maybe bench here that you're kind of looking through to the car. And then roof as well. I think I'm gonna do the roof out of the same stuff. Can't really see it too much in the video on YouTube, but I think it's the same. I'm pretty sure from the outside it all looks the same. So yeah, that's a bit of an update on that. So I thought that was going to take, this come from the UK, all this stuff, and it was literally a week to get from the UK to here, so pretty happy with that. These are good. They're not like too shiny or anything, so they'll look good in the garage hanging up. I'll probably use most of them in a different one, but yeah, a couple will go in this one. So yeah, update. So I might put this video in with my modification video on my phone case, because it kind of belongs in there as well, but I'll do this same video in the diorama part 3 video as well, and we're going to get to building the walls. So I've got some of this I don't know what it is, Tasmanian oak, and they're going to be the studs, like that, whatever, 16 inches in 24 scale, that's the spacing, and a couple of cross braces, and that's going to build the stud wall, and then this wood look panel stuff stuck to the outside of it facing inwards. So, and I'll probably stain these up as well, make them a little bit darker because they're a bit too light and perfect. So I'll rough everything up and make everything look a little bit dirty, and get to doing that. So I got some board there, so that's what's going. This will get stuck to the board, and then the stud will get laid over the top of that and just glued to this, and then just laid up, and then make a quick roof and use the same paneling for the roof. But the roof will only be on the back and the side, probably not on the front. Just be clear, and then clear across the front. So we'll see how we go. Added a few extra details if you haven't seen that video. A bit of pipe work and plug leads and things like that. Didn't go too crazy. All good. So you're still waiting for that glue to dry on the phone case. So we'll give that, it's 30-minute epoxy. I'm going to give it 2 hours. It's pretty cold today, so I'll give it a bit extra. So yeah, I'll give it a heap extra. to dry properly, and hopefully that works and it matches up to that. Well, it's going to match up to that, but hopefully it just doesn't. When you go and rip your phone off it, it just doesn't leave the magnet on here. And then I'm down a quad lock case and a bracket for this, but it's worth a shot because it's a bit of a pain. I'll explain that before. But yeah, alright, we'll wait for the glue to dry and I'll get back to you. Morning guys, so this is part 3 of the Fast and Furious diorama. What do you got on your leg, mate? What's this? Are you eating wood? Don't do that. Bit of a funny day today actually. It's 20 odd, what do we got? Yeah, 22-ish degrees, and it was like 14 degrees overnight. And the past few mornings we've been getting 3s and 4 degrees, and then last night was like 12 degrees minimum, and it was like 14 degrees this morning when I woke up. So a bit of a cloudy day. I think there's a bit of rain coming tonight and tomorrow. And the postie's just been, I got today off work because my back's a bit crook after doing that, lifting this up. Probably should have taken the sand out of it before I went lifting everything, but I couldn't be bothered. Yeah, the postie's just been and got my, put this down. Got the VATs for the 3D printer. I didn't realise, but I ordered 2. Pretty cool too. They come with a lid, so you could just leave your resin in the printer, and it won't go off like it did on me when I brought it outside. Yeah, got 2, so that's cool. Keep a spare. And then it came with a bag of gloves, so I'll probably throw that out. Keep that one in there. And then it came, good old AliExpress. They always chuck in a few extra. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've got about 15 of these, but another pair wouldn't hurt. They're the good tweezers. They're really sharp too. Yeah. Don't know what brand they are. I kind of ripped it before I had a look, but tweezers, precise standard type. Yeah, so ESD 15. So they're handy. What's that? Oh, okay. It's a little pop-up funnel, I suppose. And then you put your come with a heap of these. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10, I think. 10, 12. Strain your resin when you put it back in. Not a scraper. That's not a bad one. Nice and solid. Yeah, it's got the sharp edge on it there. That's pretty cool. And today's only the 7th of August, and I ordered that on the 27th of last month, so pretty good. Something else rocked up the other day too. I ordered something else. I can't remember what it was now. But it was something for this. Hang on, let me check my phone. It was right in front of me. It was this stuff coming from the UK, the stickers and the wood. So yeah, that turned up real quick. That was less than a week from the UK, and this was that's the date it was made. It wasn't shipped. It was, yeah, it shipped on the 27th. So it was the 7th today. So that's like 10 days from Hong Kong. That's pretty cool, and I wasn't expecting. I just checked the thing, and it's pretty obvious that there is 2. I must have been late at night. Yeah, it does say that you're getting 2. It was like $30. I didn't think you'd get 2 for $30, plus all that extra gear in there. So yeah, we're back in business with this. So I'm going to start doing the walls today, as soon as I got a bit of time off. I'll see how long I can stand up for, see how much I can get done. And might just have to have breaks every now and again, but I'll go and whack this stuff back inside. Just don't need that today. It's a bit of a mess in here because I've robbed. I had two of these things, and the people I bought this off, they don't have another one. They're out of stock at the moment, so I can't go and get another one. I robbed. If you didn't watch that, that's in the Sandblaster video. So I've changed change this up because this was starting to rust out, this thing, because it was in the shed and it's not very waterproof. So that's in another video, but I've got it sitting on the one I robbed from over there. So I've got to tidy this this corner up before I can do much. Can't even walk over there. So I'll get onto that, and then I'll start cutting up some MDF. I've got the MDF just there. Start cutting that up, and I'm not even sure what I'm going to do. I think I'll because the car's got to sit this way. I think I'm going to have like a little wall here, and then that would have been the door. I'm not going to make the door because it's like a barn door kind of thing. So I'm just going to make wall, and then maybe that's it. Just have the two big walls and one little wall here, and then shift the car over and have benches. I was going to do bench and bench, and only have, it's just going to be too busy. So I think I'm going to move the car over like that, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And then have a nice bench there against the wall there, some windows on the back wall, windows along that wall. Nothing here. I'm going to make this clear. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the whole thing clear, and maybe just a few things on the floor, like an oil pan, changing oil pan thing, and some tools, lights, rags, things like that. Nothing in the front, bench at the back, nothing along here because there's not a lot of room anyway. Unless I move the car right up, but it's going to look a bit funny. So yeah, so I don't really have a plan. I'll just make it as I go and see what we can fit in. But yeah, I might just do that, I think, and it'll simplify it because I was going to do another bench here. The only thing is, if you have too many benches, you got to print a lot of things to fill up the benches. It looks a bit crap when it's empty, and I don't really want to go, filling it up with so much crap you can't even see what you're meant to be looking at. So yeah, I'll just do the bench at the back, I think. A couple of things hanging up on the wall, maybe a drill press in the corner here, compressor over here, and then maybe the bench starting from there to there, and just a little bit of wall, and then get some perspex and clear, and that'll be it, I think. So yeah, we'll get started on that and see how long I get out of my back before I gotta go and lay down. Progress. I actually have to turn the fan on. It's pretty muggy. It's not hot, it's just really muggy. Just get a bit of air flowing through here, but I got the walls made. So that's going to sit like that. I didn't really think too much about the height, but I think that's pretty cool. The roof's not going to be flat. It's going to come up on a little angle, so it's going to be higher than that. So I'm hoping it's not too high, but it's only going to come up for a little bit, and then it's going to be clear flat, and then clear down. I don't know yet. Not sure. And then I've cut. Oh, that's that one. So that's that panel. Probably not going to stay up because of the wind from the fan. Like that. I've left them a bit big because then I'm going to wrap them around that edge, so you don't see any MDF. It's all going to be nicely folded around, and the top as well. So yeah, be enough to fold it and wrap it around like that. And I've also, so they're the 3 panels, and then I've also marked that's where the studs are going to go. And that's where they match up, hopefully. So I'm going to get to doing that now. That's the next job. I've just had a bit of a clean up in here. It's getting a bit messy, and got the parts on the 3D printer. The only thing is that came with that cover, but the cover doesn't fit on while it's in the printer because you got those knobs holding it down there, so that's a bit of a shame. I might have to get the Dremel and just cut that cover up so it fits around that, and then that way it can all stay in there. I've cleaned up all in here as well, and I've got my resin. That's probably down to about there. So time for some new resin. I've just ordered some, but that won't get here until I just ordered it on eBay. Won't get here for another week or so, so I might zip up to JCar, and they got, I think it's $40 for 500 grams water washable. I only use a water washable resin, otherwise it just gets too expensive when you got to go through isopropyl alcohol, like it's water, so it's easy to use water. I'm printing a fridge at the moment for that diorama. Black resin, that's what I had in there, but I prime it and paint it, so it should come up alright. Good size, I think. It's the same size as what I used in my 1/18 scale in the Diorama, same fridge. And it looks a little bit too short in that one, so this should be just the right size for a 124, I'd say. So that's still got, what's it got? 2.5 hours to go. Been going for 1 hour and 25. So yeah, it's nice and hollow, so it doesn't use too much material, but still gives it enough support for that top layer. And then I've got, I'm getting, well, when I come back from Malaga, I've got, or Jaker, that's in Malaga. I'm going to start on these, engine block, helmet, oil bottle, extractor. So what I did with that extractor, it's a bit hard to size the extractor, but what I did was size that engine block and then match the extractors up like that. And because otherwise it's giving you an overall length, you can't really guess the length of just where the headers hit the block. It's giving you a length of that whole long bit and a width of that, just pretty simple. So I just scaled it until they kind of match up to each cylinder. So that's the new height for that. I've scaled the helmet, the right scale, and that oil bottle is the right scale, and that's the right scale, and the extractors. But that's a vise, bench vise I'm going to play with, and a sink that I've got to play with. What's that? This program is not, it's alright. The zoom is just really shit. I think it's a car battery. I'm going to delete that anyway because I've got a few of them. Yeah, so scale the sink, scale that vise and everything else, and then I'll just do multiples of the helmet, that oil can, and probably 2 or 3 extractors because the other one I printed was too big. And I figured out why this was printing. If you watch the previous video, it's because I was scaling it. So when you scale it, click on scale up there, you gotta tell it, see uniform scaling. I'd unclick that and I was trying to scale it as if it was a circle, and in the X and Y I was putting the same number, but you can't do that because it's not a circle. It's got the handle and that spout, and that's why it was all squashed and looked oblong. So we'll reprint a couple of them, redo the extractors and that, and then this fridge, and then I'll kind of get all the printing done and then prime it. I've got some spray putty for this resin because this is going to print on resin, this program. The only thing I'll print in filament is the fridge and any big parts, maybe the toolbox as well. I'll do in filament just because it's bigger, it's quicker. It doesn't need to be the detail that that the resin printer's gonna do. So yeah, so I'd get everything ready, lay it all out, and then spray putty, sand it, spray putty again if it needs it. This fridge will probably need it, but these parts probably don't need the spray putty. Anything off the resin printer, it's pretty much a prime and paint, but anything off the filament printer is a spray putty until it's smooth, just to fill in the holes or the gaps from the lines, and then a couple coats of putty if it needs it, then primer, then paint. And what I try and do is just separate all the colours, so they'll all get primed all together, and then I'll separate them to black, white, red, whatever colour spray paint I'm using, and then just try and spray paint them all together. I didn't do it on the last one. It was just constantly clearing out the can and getting the red out and getting the blue out, then getting the red back out again, and you crossing colours, and yeah. So I'm going to try and get everything printed before I do any painting. So I'll have a big bucket of grey prints, and then I'll get on to mucking around with them. So that helmet looks a bit small, but they reckon. So what I do, just minimise that. So all I did was get the dimensions of a helmet like that, and then I chuck it into my thing that I made up. So you got real world dimensions for the helmet, and then I just made a quick formula and it bungs it out in 18, 24 and 32 scale. So I've just copied that, but it doesn't look right to the block, that's all. Where is it? Yeah, this program is really, you can't zoom. See, you zoom and, oh, maybe if I go this way. Now it's hiding. Yeah, it just doesn't look right, but probably is. It's a big block dimension, not a small block, so that's probably why. But yeah. Anyway, I'll zip up to JCar, get this resin, and then we'll start printing on these ones as well. Catch you in a bit. Just got back from JCar. Fridge has got 6 minutes ago. Looking pretty good. A couple little stragglers there, but that'll tidy up pretty nice. And just got enough filament too. Almost run out of filament on that too, but I got another roll of grey ready to go. That's from JCar. It's $40, half a litre, 500. Oh, I think they measured in grams actually. 500 grams. Yeah, 500 grams. I only ever get, it's a bit more expensive, but that's the water washable. It's heaps better. You don't have to wash it with ISO alcohol, and doesn't smell. That's why I've got it in my office here. If it was the other stuff, you'd want to do it outside. It really reeks, gives you a headache. That's all that was left of the original, so it's not even up to that first line there. Oh, I'm gonna drop that. Yeah, so it should be enough for what we got to print here. If not, I'll add that. I think it's cool to mix them. Not sure. That's grey. That's white. They didn't have grey, so I had to get white one. These are the final. That's kind of how it's going to print. So I've got a double up of almost everything except the engine block. Big stuff normally comes out pretty good. It's the little stuff, the little fiddly stuff that's a bit touch and go. And you can see I've tilted it. Apparently that's better. And you want to. So this is upside down. So it's going to print this. So that this grey area here is upside down. So you want any things like that basin and stuff, you want them facing that way, because if you do them the other way, it's going to trap resin in them. Probably not a lot, but you'll end up with big dollops of resin left in there. So if you do it that way, it's better. And apparently if you tilt them, it's better as well. Obviously it's not going to print mid-air like that. So the next step, bear with us because I don't really use this program too much. I think you just click on support and, oh, hang on, close that, edit. Select all so they turn blue. Support, all good. And I just do auto. It lifts them up a little bit more. I think it's thinking. Yeah, it's thinking still. Still thinking. And there we go. So that's all your little support things that it puts in. So I just have a quick look around, make sure nothing's touching, rubbing, anything like that. Should be sweet. Yep. And then you just got to click on this slice button here, down the bottom right, and that takes a while. I'll get back to you when it's done. Didn't actually take that long. So that's kind of what the screen will see under the, if you don't know what these, I'm no 3D printing expert, but that's what the screen will see. So that's the bottom layer. In total there is 575 layers. That's the bottom layer, so that's what it's going to expose to the screen. So that's your supports, and then that's your little tentacles kind of thing, your fingers coming up, and then you'll start to see the parts come like that. You can see the engine block there, and then every time it's a new layer it lifts as well. 0.05 of a millimeter I think I've got it set to, and that's it. So the engine block you can see is the tallest thing, and then she's done. So he reckons all that is going to take 1 hour and 17 minutes, and that's the good thing about resin printers. You can print one matchstick sticking up for 575 layers, and it's still going to take 1 hour and 17, or you can fill the bed up with as many matchsticks as will fit, 1,000 matchsticks, and it'll still take 1 hour and 17 at that height. Yeah, so that's the one big bonus. So if I go save, and then I want to put it on the USB stick and save, I'll turn the printer on. Saving file. It didn't update a few weeks ago, this program, and it's picked up a lot of speed. Don't know how they've done it, but it's a lot quicker than what it used to be. And that's it. So she's saved. She's on the I better eject it. Sometimes the printer won't read won't read the USB stick if you don't eject it properly. Eject. That's finished. We'll come back to that in a minute. So I'll just keep an eye on this. It's not going to use that much resin in an hour and 15 minutes though, so I should be sweet. But just to be safe, I'll check it, and if it starts looking like it's going to be running out of resin, then I will tip a bit more of this white stuff in, and we'll end up with a multicolored thing, I suppose. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to paint it anyway. So it's literally, I just turned it on, haven't touched anything. Print. That's the one thing that's on there, and play. Easy as. So I'll leave that there if we need it. And fridge has come up pretty good. Got the handles already on it. Bit of wispy stuff on the edge, but you can just pull that off or burn it off or whatever. It's not quite ready to come off the that bed's at 75 degrees, I think, or 62 degrees at the moment. So as it starts to cool down, you hear cracking, and that's just the part releasing. I don't want to go stressing it, because then you bend the bed and all that kind of stuff, and it's nicer to have a flat bed than not a flat bed. So there you go, she's just dipped in. No, that's pretty good. She's cool. So the first few layers go for about 30 seconds, so it really bites in and sticks. And then after about 6 layers, and it goes down to like 2 seconds per layer, 3 seconds per layer. Can't remember what I've got it. You can check it, I think. Can't change it now, but you can check it. So bottom layers, for 6 layers of the bottom, exposure offset, I think, so it lifts up 0.5 mil. Oh, I can't remember. And then the bottom exposure is 40 seconds, and then a normal exposure is 3 seconds. I think it was 2, and it wasn't. I was getting pretty crap print, so I've lifted it up to 3. So we'll see what happens there. Get back to you when this is getting on with it. But yeah, I just missed that lift. It's gonna be another 40 seconds. I've got it to that stage. I got the wood sheet mounted to the MDF, and then all the studs done. Don't look too bad. So I think the plan of attack is leave that's as much wall as I'm gonna put. And I've got enough. I've still got another sheet and a bit left over of this paper wood stuff, so I'll probably start from here and go back, and then do that side as well, and then see how far I get around the back. That way when you look at it from any angle, it all kind of matches and looks the same. And I've got to figure out the roof. I've got to look at the video again and see what the roof is, but I think it's the same wood. And just go from there, just make some more out of this 6mm. I was going to stain that, but it's darker. I thought it was like a piney colour, but it's a bit darker anyway, so it doesn't look too bad. And then I'll probably make the bench out of the same stuff, but I'll stain that, so that way it's a bit of contrast. It just doesn't look like all the same wood. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And I'm going to stain when I stain that wood, I'll stain this floor as well to just dirty it up a bit, just so it's not so clean looking. But I think that's it for today, and we'll get onto it. Maybe do a bit more tomorrow either. All right, 3D printer's just finished. It's just finished raining as well. Dogs are out getting some sun. What do we got? 21ish. Yeah, almost 21. Yeah, it's pretty muggy too. Almost don't even need any jumper on or anything. But I think that's it for the rain now. There might be a little bit more coming. That's looking west. Might be a bit more coming from the ocean there. Yes, the 3D printer's finished. The resin and the filament, and it's probably one of the best prints I've ever come across. Actually, I don't think not one thing's failed. Even the taps came out pretty good. The sinks, helmets, the engine block come up really nice. It's probably not focus. There we go. Yeah, extractors, right size now. So yeah, everything come up pretty good. I've just washed it all. So I'll get the scraper, scrape all them off, and then they just got to sit in the sun. Sit in the sun for a bit to just go that next. It's still a bit flexible, but you leave them in the sun and then they go rock hard. So yeah, that'll be good. I'm going to do this as well. I've just marked it up, probably can't see it, just in some black pen, that's all I had. But I'm going to Dremel like a little rectangle out both sides, because then that will fit without taking that vat out in the printer, because that's where the little lock nuts are to hold the vat down. So you can't use that unless you take the vat out of the printer. I've got two of these because I've got two vats, so I'm going to do this mod to one of them and leave the other one. So if you want to store one with resin in it, you can put the lid on and it won't have that cut out. But if you want to store resin and leave it in the printer, then you use this lid. And the the fridge is done as well. Kind of the right size, I think. Yeah, it's just a bit higher than the car, so that's kind of the right size for a fridge. You just got to paint it all. But like I said, I'm gonna do all the printing first, and then paint it all. So be a bit easier. And like I said, I've got enough of this printed paper. I'm gonna just cut that short and then go right around the whole thing so it all looks the same. And that's about it. So I'll clean up these prints, Dremel this out, and hopefully it fits, and I'll get back to you. So I just Dremeled the just little notches out both sides, and there she goes. Fits pretty snug actually. Probably gone a bit too far just there, but you could fill it in with a bit of weather stripping or some brush or whatever you got. But I'm not too worried about that. That's not really going to make much of a difference. So I'll leave that at that. I'm not using the 3D printer. I've got this. It's got that cover, that green cover, and then I've got that for it as well. So only because it's near the window, so I thought I'd better give it some extra protection. So that should be fine. I don't know how long you can leave it like that for, but I've left it for months before and it's never hard. You just got to give it a mix when you're ready to use it again, because it kind of separates. So as long as you mix it, it's all good. It's all the 3D printer stuff, just chilling in the sun, let it go hard, give it 15 minutes and then just turn it around so they're facing into the sun the other way. 15 minutes and they should be nice and hard, ready to put away, ready for paint. I'll chip all this support material off as well. After they're hard, it's easier when it's hard, because then it just snaps rather than bend and break things. I thought I'd better film this. No one believe me if it's cloudy in Perth. It's about 2 hours after that last little clip, and yeah, it's just stopped raining again now. Nice and cloudy, a bit cool. Humidity's gone, which is good. And this has come along pretty good. So I've got all the 3D printed stuff in there, ready to go. My back's starting to seize up, so I'm going to give it a break for today. But I'll have to clean it all up. But you can feel now it's much more brittle, a bit harder. So it'll be a lot easier to snap these little support things off. For example, like that. You just gotta almost do it one-handed, maybe. Yeah, they'll just snap off. On the engine block it's not too bad, you don't have to be too careful, but like on the delicate stuff like that, if you push too hard you'll just crack that sink there. So you actually have to snap them off with some little sharp pliers. And then got a good run at that, so I've done I've put this roof on, so I don't have enough left over to do this side now, so I'm just going to paint that brown. I dirtied up the floor, if I can get this out. Dirtied up the floor a bit. I'm probably going to do some more. It looked a lot darker before, but now the water's dried out, it's gone a bit too light. So yeah, I'll put a bit more, but that's the halfy roof, so that's as much roof as going to be. So I've put. So if you look at it from that angle, I've used more paper. I just got to fill that bit of white in. That's all I got left over. That white and these two little bits of stick. Out of 3 or 4 meters, 1.8, so it's at 3.6. So there's 3.6 meters of this stuff in there. Doesn't look like it, but it adds up. So there, that's going to stay like that. Well, I was trying to get it nice and dark. I really want it even more darker than that, but I think that's enough because I want to light it up with the down. Actually, it's darker than that in real life. It's the camera makes it look a bit lighter. But yeah, the bench. If I take this out, the bench is in. I'll try and get the light in there. Everything. So I'll take the fridge out too. All the food tip over. But yeah, that's the bench. Just a simple roof structure. See all the wood on the inside. Yeah, I'll get that floor a bit dirtier as well. Got a couple stains underneath the bench there. But yeah, I'll do some more here, some staining, and dirty it up a bit. But yeah, so out of paper, out of wood. So I don't think I need any more wood because it's going to be perspex there to there, perspex there to there, perspex in that hole, perspex there, and perspex there. So perspex, 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 and perspex. And then I'm going to have lights hanging there, a couple lights over the bench, probably like wall mounted lights too there, and then some hanging on little chain, probably 2 lights to light up the top of the car, and that's probably about it. Just leave it a bit dingy looking because that's how it is on the movie. And then I've got a little bit of balsa, pretty much the same. That's what that was, and I just stained it, and I'll make some shelves, cut that up and just make little shelves around everywhere to put the oil cans, and probably print some trophies as well actually, because there was some trophies on the YouTube video. Yeah, it's come up not too bad. It's a bit messy. I mean, I don't really go for perfection. As long as it works, should be fine. It's all super glued together, so it's pretty sturdy even now. The walls are well, this paper I've just used like kids paper glue, so that's still a little bit not dry yet. But everything where I've used super glue is all dry. But yeah, not too bad. Probably just offset the car a bit. I think I've got the height right. Yeah, bonnet's just, yeah. Looks alright. And then I'll just get some powder, black powder, chalk, I think I've got, or pastel, I can't remember. And you just brush all the stuff that's all new looking, brush all that down so it looks like black dust and give it a bit of a dusty look. I think I've got to get some new chain. I think I'm out of chain as well, so trip to Spotlight. And that's it. So yeah, that'll be it for today. And then we'll start a new video on the 3D printing, painting of the 3D printing stuff. And that's it, I think. Yeah, so I'll probably call it quits for this part 3. That's all I really wanted to do was the walls and the cladding studs. So yeah, I'll call it quits for this one, and post this one up and get on. I think part 4 is going to be cleaning that up, spray putty, priming, painting, that kind of gear. Do all that in part 4. Couple of finishing touches in here. Part 5 will probably be the wiring for the lights, because I'm thinking of putting 2 hanging lights, 2 lights above the bench, one there, 2 hanging like fluoro batten lights kind of thing, hanging with chain, and probably a work light laying on the floor that's on as well underneath the car. That's probably about it for the wiring, I'd say. Yeah, from the movie, it's not like it was an ultra-modern supercar garage with TVs and stereos and stuff, so I think that'll be about it. I'll put some PowerPoints and stuff around, but obviously they're not going to be wired up, but yeah, just probably 4 lights, 2 lights off the roof, 2 lights off this back wall, and one work light on the floor here. But that's further down the track, so I'll get this part 3 out and see you in a couple of weeks. I forgot to mention also, as far as upcoming videos, I went to a Classic Cars and Coffee on the weekend and with the Diorama, and so I got a bit of footage from there, and then did a bit of a drone flight, Stuffed up though, because I forgot to bring the SD card for my drone. So I've got a few photos, but they're pretty low res, not too bad, but right near the city in South Perth there. And got some the actual video turned out not too bad. I think my drone's got like 8 gig of memory on board, so you don't need an SD card, but you can't record too much. So I'll post that all up. The only thing is I'll probably have to narrate some of the video, and I've ordered a decent microphone to do it, and I haven't got it yet. So I've just got that video sitting in the editor, and when I get the microphone, I'll chuck a bit of voiceover on it and post that. But yeah, and then I mean this diorama is probably going to be another couple of weeks before I get anything worth posting. But I'll probably start doing the lights and no, 3D printing, sorry. I'll probably start doing that in the next couple of days, but the video won't come out for a couple of weeks. What else is on the cards? That's probably about it. I don't know what other little projects we got around the house, but stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be some videos pop up every now and again. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.